Rick and his team have discovered a mysterious discovery at Smith's Cove, a site known for its high promise. They were digging deep in the garden shaft, hoping to find gold or hidden artifacts. However, they found an old wooden passageway from the 17th century connected to a section called the Baby Blob. The passage was much darker than expected, and the team began to wonder if someone had deliberately broken apart this structure centuries ago to keep something hidden or protect themselves from whatever lay beyond. They found additional antique wooden beams, part of a well-planned edifice from a lost period. As they dug, these beams proved they were on the correct track. Gary, the team's competent digger, uncovered an unusually shaped metal item while combing the area with his metal detector. This item was older than everything else they found and looked like a past no one understood. The marsh revealed aspects of Oak Island's history, but each discovery led to something larger. Marks were set along the channel to chart it, and every excavation had to be strategic, safe, and calculated to safeguard workers and guarantee nothing was missed. As the crew worked in the marsh, they discovered more ship parts similar to those they had recovered earlier, including a brace from a 9-inch shipwood and a fragment of an 8th century ship railing. In 2020, the marsh may have a deeper history with medieval explorers like the Vikings. In conclusion, the team's discovery at Smith's Cove bodes well for treasure seekers seeking the island's past. Gary and Billy led historical significance. Gary, an experienced digster, brought his metal detector to the site to find items that might reveal the area's history. After his efforts, his detector beeped on a metal piece indicating it was ancient. As they dug, the crew placed markers along the channel to chart the subterranean pre-machine. Ad-shaped wood was one of the day's most fascinating finds. The passage's construction may have supported the round-to-thin beams. After discovering this treasure, Rick and his group felt more connected to the island's stories. Wetland Oak Island has a lengthy and distinguished past, and Rick, Billy Gart, and Gary Drayton are currently researching it. Their curiosity about history and the thrill of the hunt are what motivate them to find more than hidden treasures. They find parts of ships from the 15th and 18th centuries, as well as an 8th century railing, which suggests that the marsh may have a longer history than previously thought, possibly involving Viking explorers from the Middle Ages to the present. Next, they discover a large wooden structure that appears to be a wall or dam, which reminds them of what Fred Nolan, a former treasure seeker on Oak Island, thought was a dam that was used to conceal something valuable. The team wants to know if the ancient ship railing they found earlier has anything to do with this latest discovery. As the pieces come together, the geoscientist Dr. Ian Spooner is investigating the ancientness of the timber structure and its connection to a 500-year-old stone road, which suggests that the land was inhabited long ago. They find that the swamp has more mysteries and deeper depths than anything they have investigated thus far. Additionally, there is another area of interest on the northern side of the marsh, which Marty Lagena and Dr. Ian Spooner are investigating with their staff. Dr. Spooner discovers a stick that is positioned between the rock and the ground below it, which provides evidence that the boulder was moved to control the flow of water in the swamp. The team is intrigued by this discovery, which raises questions about what is beneath the surface as part of their mission to uncover further Oak Island history. Nolan's Cross is one of the most unusual collections of stones on the island, and it appears to be linked to a large stone. A researcher named John Edwards suggests that there is a possibility that something valuable was hidden at Nolan's Cross and that it is related to the Knights Templar. Dr. Spooner's claim that humans have been altering the marsh for a very long time is supported by the fact that Gary and Billy led the researchers back to the marsh, where they found odd tree stumps and layers of old wood in a swamp where trees do not grow. In addition, while excavating, they found a button with a gold coating, a circular arrangement of stones in a trench that was surrounded by rocks, and numerous pieces of intricately carved wood and other wooden objects. There is proof of its historical significance because this was so skillfully constructed that it could not have developed organically. The group grew more cautious and came to an agreement that they would not make any significant alterations until Dr. Spooner had taken the time to examine the area. In addition, they discovered flat ear with a complicated handle, which shed light on the various history of Oak Island and sparked hypotheses about the people who had lived there in the past. An investigation carried out in a cutting-edge laboratory revealed that the button was made of gold and most likely belonged to a military commander from the 18th century. An antique shoe bottom with metal studs that were produced using conventional procedures rather than current glues, was discovered next to a stone walkway, which sparked new worries and indicated that this path had been used for decades. Relics, coins, and pottery were discovered by the researchers, and with each discovery they came closer to comprehending the complex history of the region. After beginning their search in the southern marsh, Marty, Rick, and Craig Tester discovered a wooden structure that had been buried under a stone road. This discovery suggests that the history of the region needs to be reconsidered.
Quantities of gold and silver beneath the surface, they have good cause to continue their search for the elusive treasure. As they continue to make new openings and discoveries that provide them with valuable new information, the crew remains optimistic regarding their overall progress. The discovery of the artisanal spike adds to their growing body of knowledge in this discipline, which was used to calculate the precise elevations of the tunnel. The group's intention to conduct additional research, including C-14 testing, demonstrates its significance. Marty Lagena, Craig Tester, Gary Drayton, and blacksmithing expert Carmen Legg returned to the Institute to discuss the iron spike they discovered at a depth of over 100 feet in the B4C shaft. The enigma of Oak Island has evolved into a captivating tale, a perplexing puzzle whose mystique has only grown as time has passed. Their words, which emphasize their conviction that gold can be located on oak, exude confidence. During the height of piracy in the late 17th and early 18th centuries, it was widely believed that Oak Island served as a secure haven for pirates operating along the entire east coast of North America and in the Caribbean. This notion has existed since the beginning of island exploration. They pondered whether this was the location where a pirate commander had hidden his loot. As they proceeded deeper into the tunnel, however, water began to fill it. This was owing to the peculiar location of the island they were working on, which was above a glacial mound. Despite the fact that no treasure was ever discovered on Oak Island, the legend surrounding the purported location of the loot has been so captivating for the past 225 years that visitors have been making the voyage there. Over time, others began searching for wealth all over the island, not just in the money pit dug by McGinnis and his companions. However, what is the treasure casket intended to contain? As a young man, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who would later become the 32nd President of the United States, became intrigued by the topic after his father, who had business interests in Nova Scotia, provided details about the rumored wealth. This was the result of FDR's father's involvement in the province. The onset of the Second World War in Europe prevented him from traveling to Oak Island in 1939, despite his efforts to keep apprised of the most recent information about the island throughout the remainder of his life. In a similar vein, two prominent actors from the middle of the 20th century, Errol Flynn and John Wayne, funded expeditions to search for the Oak Island treasure. Despite their lack of success, they continue to unearth evidence that fascinates and confounds people in equal measure. Be sure to subscribe and enable post notifications for more timely updates on fascinating new discoveries. Numerous individuals have a variety of plausible and implausible hypotheses regarding the contents of the Oak Island treasure. The most prevalent and plausible explanation is that it is the plundered fortune of a notorious pirate who operated between 1660 and 1730, which is generally accepted to have been the golden age of piracy. Famous pirates and buccaneers frequented the rivers along the east coast of North America, from Canada to the Caribbean during this time period. Edward Teach, also known as the infamous pirate Blackbeard, was one of these individuals. Due to the high level of piracy that existed during this time, the governments of Spain, England, France, and other countries with a financial stake in the security of their commerce in this region were unable to prevent pirate attacks on colonial ships returning to Europe. Beginning with the Treaty of Utrecht, which ended the War of the Spanish Succession in 1713 and was signed by the main European powers, coordinated attacks on pirate ships put an end to the golden age of piracy in the Western Atlantic. The Treaty of Utrecht terminated the War of the Spanish Succession officially. The history of the money pit on Oak Island is shrouded in mystique. According to geology, the money pit was not an underground vault constructed by humans to hold wealth. The bedrock of the island is readily eroded due to its proximity to the ocean and groundwater. Sinkholes can result from the collapse of a network of faults and underground caverns beneath the surface. Despite this, the island's allure has attracted treasure hunters. The stories have provoked and fueled speculation regarding the crater's origins. In space, researchers have discovered a new force. Click the following video to learn what it is.